Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips. Today is Saturday, it's August 13th of 2022, and we have got lots of exciting news to talk about today. So first of all, I want to start off with Carnival Cruise Lines. Yesterday, you probably, hopefully, if you haven't yet, look at my videos from yesterday, but I put a video out with the huge news from Princess Cruise Lines regarding testing and exemptions, and we are going to talk a little bit about that more today. But also I want to start though, Carnival released it not too long after Princess did. So Carnival says that Carnival Corporation announced protocol updates that meet public health goals but recognize the evolving nature of COVID-19. With these changes, we are making it easier for more guests to sail with simplified vaccination and testing guidelines, including no testing to vaccinated guests on sailings less than 16 nights, and eliminating the exemption request process for unvaccinated guests who will only need to show a negative test at embarkation. All new guidelines are effective for cruises departing Tuesday, September 6th of 2022 or later. So this is just like on Princesses. So if you are vaccinated, all you have to do is come and board the ship unless you are on a sailing that is 16 nights or longer, and they will be in contact with you and let you know. Now, remember, like with Princess, this does not apply to cruises that are going to places that have requirements that do not allow these changes, okay? So right now, Carnival has mentioned Bermuda, Greece, Australia, and Canada. Alrighty, so if you are sailing to those places on a cruise of any length, you are still going to have to go through the process of testing for everyone and that exemption process for people who are not vaccinated. Now, on these sailings that are less than 16 nights, 15 nights or less, unvaccinated guests are welcome to sail and are no longer required to apply for a vaccine exemption, except where those government regulations, like I said, require. And then unvaccinated guests who do not provide proof of vaccination at embarkation just need to show proof of a negative COVID test, and it can be a PCR or an antigen done within 3 days of embarkation. So that is just like with Princess. And so I think it's really exciting news. Now, the things that I want to remind you all about the Princess changes are that a few things. So I'm getting lots of questions about what a transocean is and how does this apply to us. A transocean is what they call, instead of calling it a transatlantic, because Princess also has like trans-Pacific cruises. And so so those cruises, you're still going to have to follow certain guidelines. Now, in the Princess announcement, they said that an ocean navigator, one of their employees, will be contacting you to make sure that you know what is required. So for those cruises that are 16 nights or longer, and you're going to be on a transocean, you're going to be on a special cruise, a specialty cruise as they call it, or if you are going to be on the full transit Panama Canal cruise, if you're vaccinated, you're still going to have to show your proof of vaccination. And it sounds like my guess is if you are not vaccinated, you're going to still have to ask for an exemption. Now, as we start going through this process, as those dates come up, I would love to hear from all of you about what is required. I would suspect that most people who will be sailing on those cruises like soon after like September 6th or later, my guesses would be that you have already got an exemption if you need one. And so when we have someone in our Let's Go family who has to get an exemption for one of these cruises that goes later than September 6th, will you please let us know so that we can know how that whole process works? I think that would be very valuable. And I honestly think that they are just going to see how this process goes on these 15 night or shorter cruises. And if it goes just really, really well, I bet you they will loosen it up for these longer cruises, except for the ones that are visiting the places that will not let them make those changes. And so on the Princess announcement, they didn't include Bermuda because right now Princess doesn't sail to Bermuda, but they talked about sailings to Canada, Greece, and Australia. And those are locations that don't want to give up the requirement for the testing and for the exemption. And so for all of you, I know that I saw so many comments and I was worried about you in emails. If you are sailing on an Alaska cruise this year, you need to follow the rules that we have been following this whole season thus far with this. You still need to be tested, whether you're vaccinated or whether you're unvaccinated. If you're not vaccinated, you need to have a medical exemption to go. They are very particular about that, and that requirement's not going anywhere even after September 6th. So make sure that you are very clear on that. I have not heard yet. We used to have it with that it would be required, and the protocols were not changed yet on Princess's website this morning. This is Saturday morning when I'm doing this video. So those, if you are going to go on a land tour there with Princess and go to the, do the land portion first, they said that you needed to be tested before that, and then they would have the test available for you, supply it for you there at the Princess Lodge to do before you embarked on the cruise ship. And so my guess is that for all of that, it's going to stay the same because it's involving Canada. But like I said, I'm really looking forward to those updates. So just plan on that. If you've got a cruise in one of those categories to Alaska, because they all include Canada in one way or another, and or like your Transocean, don't be canceling your cruise testing if you've got that booked. Just be ready to go on that. So I wanted to make sure that you understand that. Now, the next thing that I wanted to make sure everybody is, I was really appreciative. So our Let's Go family member, Howard, is in Southampton today, and he boarded the ship there. He didn't say which one, but he is in the UK and boarded. And he said, despite their confusion at their phone support, all Princess required at the boarding was their verbal confirmation that they had taken a test and that the test was negative. So I know we were all wondering if they were going to tweak the Medallion Class app a little bit for you just to click on, yes, we've taken it, and yes, it's negative. Doesn't sound like they've done that yet. I don't know if they're going to, but I really appreciate Howard for letting us know. So all of you who will be sailing out of Southampton, just let us know, because it's really exciting that they have made that change. Relieves an awful lot of stress for a lot of people traveling and then worrying about the test on top of everything else. So thank you very much, Howard. You're amazing, and I hope you have a wonderful cruise. Now, the next thing that I want to talk about is really quick. Last night in our live, we talked about our group cruises. I just made a group cruise for us that is called the 14 Night in Search of the Northern Lights to Norway. It departs on October 4th of 2022, and I will be talking about that more in upcoming videos, but I wanted to let you know that one is the one that is the tightest, that already has the most cabins booked. I probably could have decided a little bit sooner to make that a group cruise, but we decided that we really wanted to go and that we would love it if any of you would like to come with us. And so let me tell you that the itinerary on that really quick. Like I said, August 4th of 2023, round trip out of Southampton. So the first day, you leave Wednesday out of Southampton, then you have a sea day, then you're in Stavanger, Norway, 2 days at sea, Tromsø, Norway, 2 days in Alta, Norway, and that is like going to be glorious. So you get to Alta, Norway, which Tromsø and Alta, Norway, this is all in the Arctic Circle, okay? And so you're there from 11 a.m. in Alta, clear till 11 p.m. the next night. So there's going to be lots of chances to try to get to see the Northern Lights. I have looked, they have phenomenal excursions, just remarkable. So I will do a whole video about that, but I wanted to let you know about it if you're interested, because that one does have the most limited availability out of all the cruises that we are doing for group cruises. And Gordon's put that whole list on our website. But anyway, so after the 2 days in Alta, you've got a sea day, then you go to the Lofoten Islands in Norway, which are so beautiful. We've been there before. Then you have another sea day, then you're in Alesund, Alesund, Norway for a day, and then 2 sea days, and you're back to Southampton. It is indeed an epic voyage. And to be truthful, I am trying to see the places and go do things that I really, really want to do, because you never know, like I'm always telling you, you never know what tomorrow holds with health, with Gordon or I, or anybody in our family. You never know what holds, what the future holds with like world politics and everything. So we're just trying to go and do the things that we really want to get the chance to do. So that's how we came up on that cruise. So to tell you that. Now, here's another thing I want to talk to you about. With all of these testing changes that have been announced recently, with Royal Caribbean going to not requiring any testing for people who are vaccinated on those sailings that are 5 nights or less, and that applies with Celebrity as well, as with the huge announcements with Princess and Carnival yesterday. Let me tell you a few things that are on my mind, and it really has come because of some comments that I have received, and so I want you to kind of think about this a little bit. So first of all, the thing I think that made me think about it is the most is that based on protocols, sometimes people are choosing a whole different cruise line than what they would normally choose because they want to go on a cruise, even though it's not going to totally be the experience that they're looking for. So I would say, if you really want to do that, of course do that. Everybody should do what they're most comfortable with. For me, I would probably be really, really careful with that, because you can spend an awful lot of money and go on a cruise that is not on the cruise line that you really want, and then you're going to have spent your money and your time, and you aren't going to have the experience that you're looking for. So I want to remind everybody about that. The other thing that I want to remind everyone about is to make sure that you really understand what the protocols are. So this comes after I hear from people who don't understand what the protocols are. I have even had people recently who have been really surprised that you need to have a test at embarkation. So really make sure that you listen to me and then do your own research. Make sure that you understand what is required so that when you get to your cruise ship for embarkation, you're very well prepared. And the reason that I tell you listen to me and then check is because, you know what, things change so quickly, and I don't want you to have missed one of my videos with something important in it and then you're not ready, or me miss something. I don't work for any cruise line. I don't get money from anybody, and so nobody's paying me to do this. And so I just want to make sure that you all know that you really have to pay attention. I think before COVID happened, we had the habit, at least I know I did, of I'd pay for my cruise, I'd figure out what I was going to take with me, and I'd go get on the ship, and I took no thought. Honestly, we always bought insurance. I'll never go without insurance. But we just didn't worry about reading all the fine print, every little thing on a website. And so I'm not suggesting you have to drive yourself crazy, but make sure that you really look into what your cruise line is requiring, because you don't want to be missing anything. And then the other thing that I want to talk to you about today is we're hearing a lot still about changes to itineraries in Alaska. And I even received a couple of the reports that I have given you lately vary a little bit from what Princess had released. And so I would just say, when you are looking at your upcoming Alaskan cruise, keep looking at your itinerary online, and then as you receive any information about it, if you would go ahead and share that with us, I would really appreciate it, because then I tell everyone, and then everyone knows a little bit more of what to expect and to maybe what look into. But if I had a cruise booked right now to Alaska, no matter what cruise line I was sailing on and no matter which ship I was sailing on, I would familiarize myself. If I thought I was going to Skagway, I would familiarize myself with Sitka and Icy Strait Point as well, because you never know when at the last moment your itinerary is going to be changed, and those are the places that they generally switch you to. I think both places are phenomenal. I'm really looking forward to visiting them both next year on our group cruise. Very excited about it. And so after I get the chance to go, I will tell you about it more, but just be prepared with that so that you have an idea of what to look forward to, and that you're prepared if you have to choose another excursion or what you want to see if you get to go to those ports. And if you don't get to go on this trip, maybe you will get to go on another trip. Alrighty, and I've got a really big question for everyone here. If you could help us out, we've got some Let's Go family members that need some input. Have any of you ever had to file a claim for health reasons reasons, like a medical claim with Princess Cruise Lines or with Alliance or any other any other insurance carrier that you perhaps recommend or don't recommend, I would really appreciate hearing from you on that. We've got several people that that would really help out. If they could share, if you could share your experience, you could put it in the comments, or you can send me an email, and I won't use your name if you don't want me to. No worries about that. I generally try to not do that unless I'm sure the person doesn't mind. And so make sure that you share that with us if you wouldn't mind, because it's sometimes kind of hard to decide what is the best insurance, especially if you're going for really like if you're doing 2 really long cruises and your trip is going to be a little bit longer. Just who is really good to get a policy with, an annual policy. So just anybody, if you could share that, that'll really help us out. So thanks. So I hope that you all are having an amazing summer weekend. I am going to record a video later tonight because I have this whole big discussion we're going to have and things that I think are important, but I don't want to do it tonight in case we have more news. I don't work on Sunday unless it's really dire situation. So I'm going to record that, so don't miss it tomorrow. You're going to want to be in on the conversation and know what's going on. So I really appreciate all of you. If you have not subscribed yet, please do hit the subscribe button. We need you with us, and I think that you need us together, all of us, so that we can all stay on top of everything that's going on in cruising right now. Hit that little notification bell so that you don't miss anything. If you appreciate these updates, I really could use some help, and if you would give us a thumbs up, that's amazing help. I'll be talking to you all again really soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.